So excited to be back. Can't wait to be out on court, and I hope to see you there.
Long before her cleats hit the tarmac overseas, a massive shockwave had already gripped the continent, said the scene. A lifeless terminal in Linz. Usually it is just baggage carousels and dead air, but in an instant that quiet hole erupted into a stadium-level frenzy, 30 or 40 fans screaming one name echoing off the glass, colors of the Philippines whipping violently beneath the harsh ceiling fixtures. Hardcore supporters deserted their shifts and burned highway miles from Vienna, hauling out of Salzburg and racing from Graz to catch her arrival. 0 sets played so far. Her bags were not even unpacked yet. The bracket was completely unseen, but the crowd crowned her champion anyway. That chaotic cell phone clip went absolutely viral before sunset, painting a perfect picture of exactly the hurricane she brings and why the pro circuit is completely terrified of her right now. We need to roll the tape back to see the real grit. 21 days prior, she took a beatdown in Florida, dropping a vicious 6-0-6-2 decision, a genuine bloodbath of a box score. That kind of beating breaks normal athletes mentally and forces them offline. Yet the press entirely missed the real story in the locker room. She fought every single point of that battle with a torn muscle. Her corner kept their mouths shut until the final whistle blew. 0 injury timeouts, no quitting, no pathetic sob stories at the press conference. She took the beating in absolute silence. 72 hours later, she touched down in Spain, heading straight to the ultimate proving ground, Rafa Nadal Academy. By the 31st of March, leaked tape showed her launching violent forehands on the dirt, exploding laterally with absolute killer instinct. Looking at that tape, you would never guess her body was broken days prior. That transcends athletic talent. That is pure competitive obsession. A 20-year-old realizing the court has 0 sympathy for weakness, so she buried the excuses entirely. Let us break down the weight of this Spanish compound. This is not some country club with perfectly manicured courts. This fortress belongs to the king of the dirt himself. 22 global championships and 14 unbelievable Parisian titles to his name. The exact battleground she is targeting, earning an invite from the legend, carries massive weight. But having him publicly claim her as family to the press, that changes everything. She opened up about their dynamic during a sit-down on the 30th of March, delivering raw, unfiltered truth. The kid completely chokes up in his presence. She admitted to leaving his text messages unread for almost a week, completely paralyzed. Purely terrified by the sheer magnitude of his legacy, let that reality sink in. A lethal weapon who thrives under the crushing pressure of roaring stadiums, turning to jelly the second her phone flashes his name. That kind of raw vulnerability strips away the superstar armor, making 100 million diehard fans ride for her even harder. Make no mistake that mentorship is totally legitimate. Every grueling hour spent grinding on Mallorca's red dirt actually counts. That intense grind fueled the viral clips of her crushing practice sessions just days before Linz. She didn't just want to stick around, she showed up ready to dominate the field. The stakes were sky high because her standing had plummeted to number 45 post-Miami. This dirt swing became her ultimate ticket back to the elite top 30. The formula brutally straightforward. Make a deep run in Austria, secure massive ranking points, break back into that top 30 echelon before Stuttgart and Madrid even kick off. Sounds easy on a whiteboard, right? Try executing that pressure cooker plan as a 20-year-old kid. Reeling from a brutal defeat, stepping up as a seeded threat in a savage WTA 500 bracket featuring title holder Alexandrova. Then that terminal video hit the internet. The entire narrative shifted instantly. This battle was no longer confined to the baseline. Nobody cared if Alex could survive a cutthroat dirt tournament under mounting leaderboard anxiety anymore. The real mystery, what on earth is brewing around this rising star? Why is every single venue completely blindsided by the absolute tsunami she brings to town? This is where the plot totally thickens. An estimated 30,000 Filipinos call Austria home. 30,000, a fiercely loyal, deeply entrenched network stretching across the nation's biggest hubs. Pull the lens back, though, and you realize that is strictly Austrian territory. The overarching European diaspora is an absolute juggernaut. Italy, Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, all a quick 2-hour jump from Linz. Forget your average spectators scrolling past a viral tennis highlight. This is the exact platoon that stormed Melbourne, transforming a forgotten outer court into a deafening war zone. The very same squad that hijacked Dubai, leaving veteran broadcasters completely speechless on live television. The identical force that flooded the desert at Indian Wells, rolling into Miami armed with banners and war cries, bringing an electric chaos that left security forces totally overwhelmed. The writing is on the wall, the trend is undeniable. Melbourne swarmed, Dubai overrun, the sunshine double absolute madness, 4 distinct continents, 5 different stages. An identical legion arriving for battle without fail. Yet mind-bogglingly, the word on the street is Linz organizers walked into this bloodbath with gate systems and crowd control completely blind to the incoming storm. A heavyweight voice in the sport didn't hold back. 30,000 reside directly inside Austrian borders, with millions sitting just a quick boarding pass away. Nobody is pointing fingers claiming malicious intent from the organizers. The reality is far grimmer. They were totally asleep at the wheel, ignoring a blatantly obvious seasonal trend. Choked out seating limits, strangled public access. A colossal breakdown in upgrading the infrastructure for a threat that wasn't just a rumor, it was hard data, verified and impossible to miss. When exactly does playing the victim card expire and pure negligence take over? Listen closely, because this relentless fan base, and yes, the industry officially labels them an army today, is not speaking in metaphors. This isn't some random flash mob. It isn't an isolated regional fluke. They aren't a fleeting viral hashtag destined to burn out by Friday. You are looking at a global network of millions who finally discovered the ultimate holy grail in Alex Raw, desperate, authentic representation on the world's biggest stage. Manila isn't exactly known for breeding tennis royalty. The absolute pinnacle of this game has always been dictated by Western wealth, massive Western television contracts and entirely Western fan bases. Every single dollar in this industry was designed to follow fans in London, Paris, New York and Melbourne. Yet here stands Alex at number 45 globally, commanding stadium electricity and digital engagement that straight up embarrasses the top 5 titans at major tournaments. Corporate giants who completely ignored Southeast Asians consumers 18 months back are now glued to viral Linz arrival videos on their screens, desperately shifting their entire promotional strategy. This isn't a fluke. We are watching the earth move under the tennis establishment, and it all traces back to Alex. Picture being the Linz event coordinator watching that arrival clip drop that night. You have a tiny arena. The reigning champ gets a polite, quiet golf clap, while a 20-year-old ranked 45th globally just turned international arrivals into an absolute madhouse before brackets even dropped. That is exactly when panic sets in. This is no longer a simple sporting event. You are bracing for a cultural shockwave, and you are completely unarmed. The brutal pressure cooker of her week heading into Linz plays like a blockbuster movie, perfectly framing her grind. Monday in Mallorca, punishing baseline drills on the dirt, total isolation. Just agony, muscle memory, and dead quiet. Then comes Wednesday, internet-breaking chaos. A massive explosion of views, an entire Austrian nation suddenly realizing a storm had touched down on their soil. By Sunday's opening serves, she had rocketed from absolute shadow to worldwide phenomenon in mere days. That massive chasm dividing her silent backstage grind and her explosive public persona defines her entire legacy. She bleeds in the dark, she eats defeats without a whisper, she rebuilds in total secrecy. Then the spotlight hits and the universe screams the undeniable truth. This phenomenon transcends mere standings and scorecards entirely. Stuttgart follows Linz immediately, leading straight into Madrid. 2 massive stages where her people aren't just visiting, they are entrenched. 450,000 in Germany, pushing 200,000 across Spain. If the statistics and every single past match hold true, these upcoming venues cannot claim ignorance. The Legion is not traveling to them. The Legion already lives there, already stalking the brackets, booking tickets, and gearing up for war. The absolute core of this magic, what separates her from every other cookie-cutter rookie narrative, is the raw reality of it all. Her bond with Nadal cannot be bought by executives. The fierce community backing was never engineered in a boardroom. Those mobbed arrivals lack any corporate puppet strings or artificial social media tags. It is wildly authentic, terrifying, a sports machine that only knows how to fake reality. Alex swallowed a devastating 6-0 loss 3 weeks prior. She fought through shredded muscle fibers without leaking a single excuse to the press. She vanished to Mallorca, bled on the dirt for the undisputed king of clay, who treats her like blood, then touchdown in Linz, where fans driving hours for a 30-second glimpse turned baggage claim into a deafening championship riot. A shattered ranking to claw back a brutal clay campaign to survive, and an entire establishment to outlast all at just 20 years old. What tournament heads face right now has zero to do with ticket sales or logistics, the real test. Seeing if the legacy tennis machine is finally ready to swallow a hard truth. This sport's newest cultural powerhouse isn't bursting out of their hand-picked traditional markets. Are the tour executives, the event runners, the major networks, and the deep-pocketed sponsors actually willing to evolve? Or will they just keep scrambling against the empire Alex and her diehards built? Every single stop this year got blindsided. Every single event went into full panic mode. Each week birthed wild headlines that completely hijacked the sports news cycle, ignoring the scoreboard entirely to focus on the absolute chaos in the stands. Running April 6th through the 12th at Linz. The tennis world gets one final shot to get this right. Meanwhile, Alex grinded in the dark, keeping quiet when dropping excuses would have been easy. She'll let the red dirt talk, marching out there with 30,000 loyalists backing her. Millions glued to screens across the globe, fueled by the silent, ironclad faith of a 22-time major champion who saw absolute greatness in a 20-year-old Filipina. Laban lang, keep fighting. That battle cry shook the airport terminals. That same roar will absolutely defend the arena. If you've tracked this tidal wave long before, the leaderboards proved it real. Before viral terminal videos dropped and way before experts scrambled to dissect the madness. Then you already realized this grueling dirt campaign across Linz, Stuttgart and Madrid isn't simply the highest stakes stretch of Alex's young life. It's the exact second this entire game loses the right to act. Shocked.